Today in Mysterious Morsels, we're talking about phobias. So, things that make you uncomfortable, things that you have a fear of. Phobia, by definition, are things that you have a fear of. And we thought we would talk about all the different crazy things that make people very unsettled, even though they're kind of standard stuff in many cases. And I can proudly say that I am not really on this list too much, but a couple things. We're going to start backwards. So, number 10 is aquaphobia. It's a fear of water. I love water, so obviously, since I'm part shark, it doesn't bother me. But people that are afraid of water, going over water, in water, just boating in general, or just being in the water swimming, it's terrifying to them. So, aquaphobia. 9 would be the opposite element, pyrophobia, fear of fire. I get this one a little bit more because crisping to death seems like a horrible way to go. Although drowning, obviously not a comfortable thing either. But the wise man would say neither if you were presented with a choice. So pyrophobia, interesting because this could also prohibit you from like lighting a match or going near birthday cakes or basic things that are just, I'll say straw man syndrome or like Frankenstein. It's just always meant to be like a deterrent. So you might not even want a wood stove in your home, or you might not want a fireplace or go near a fire pit or go to a bonfire or something like that, which are kind of cultural things that can happen, especially around Northeast time in the fall. So it might make you uncomfortable. Just something simple like making s'mores could turn into a fearful event. So maybe not your thing. On our list, 8 is Coldraphobia, which is a fear of clowns. Now, I hate clowns, so I'm down with this one. Clowns bother me. Maybe it's from watching Stephen King's It back in the day and the remake, but clowns, it's a shame they get a bad rap because they're meant to be smiley and happy, especially for kids and such, but I never liked it. I think it was always just a combination between Poltergeist and It. There's always that creepy clown that's like head spins around and has the eyes that go up and down and it kind of smiles at you like too funny to me. I don't like it. It's not my thing. But clowns can also be evil clowns, or they could be deceptively nice looking but not really clowns. So there's like ulterior motives with clowns, but I get that. That's kind of a biggie. And they've also taken clowns and put them into the scary place on purpose to kind of mess with your head. So it's like something innocent from childhood that gets in the horror genre, and that can really mess with you. So I understand that. Whereas like water and fire, it's just an element. It is. There's nothing about it. It's just the way it is. It's not like it's got a mind of its own. Although Firestarter would probably agree differently. Glossophobia is a fear of public speaking. I definitely don't have this, but I know so many people who do. And it's funny because as a teacher, I have friends that hate talking like at parent night or addressing a crowd. And I'm like, yo, how is that possible? You're a teacher. You talk to kids all day. And they're like, no, it's different. It's your class. I don't know. I guess I joke about the Brady Bunch, and they just say, pretend everybody's in your underwear and look over their head is like always the way to get around that. But I imagine if you do have a problem just speaking to people as a whole, I don't know where the cutoff point is. Is it more than 2? Is it more than 3? Does it have to be a room full of them? Is it an auditorium? Like, at what point does that become scary? Is it the size and the shape of the venue, or the amount of people, or what you have to say? Like, where exactly does that fear kick in? I'm curious about that because that's something that I think if you're talking to a group, you're talking to a group, whether it's 3, 5, 30, 300, or 3,000. But yeah, I get that. I get a lot of people not wanting to read out loud or speak in public. I just, not my thing. Never something I had to worry about, but I am fascinated by it. 6 on our list is trypanophobia, which is a fear of shots and needles. I'm not a fan. I mean, I'll do what I have to do, but I'm not a big fan of getting stabbed. I guess it's that whole piercing of the skin thing because it is invasive. So I get this because it's physical and it's obviously a response, but there are some people that need to be like sedated because they won't sit still for any kind of shot or anything like that. And if they are in a hospital situation and it is life or death, obviously that can pose lots of problems. But I don't hear people saying they like it too much, but not necessarily in fear of it as much. So it's there, but it's not as horrific as I've seen with others. Number 5 on our list is astrophobia, which is a fear of thunder and lightning. My dog definitely has this. I love thunder and lightning. I've always, I guess because I'm loud, so I've always been near noise and enjoy noise. But thunder and lightning can definitely make little kids scared. It makes a lot of adults scared. Unfortunately, it's a trigger for PTSD. Pets, I think, know and sense the storm or the climate, and sometimes the atmosphere can change, or you get that barometer kind of effect. And I think that they just get unsettled because they know that some sort of natural disaster is coming, even if it's just a rainstorm, and they react to that. So it's sort of like little hairs in the back of your neck go up. I love it. I love watching thunder and lightning. I think, well, I guess you watch lightning, not thunder, but first you see it, then you hear it. I guess because they told me angels were bowling when I was a kid, and it was good times, but didn't bother me. But a lot of people get very nervous about thunder and lightning, and the noise itself can be irritating, I suppose. Fireworks, I imagine, too. Same thing, like I said, with my pet. I put the little thunder shirt on her, and poor Mindy, she's like in a corner. Number 4, aerophobia, fear of flying. So obviously you can't do this one by yourself. You need the help of a plane, but I can't imagine these people are signing up to go hang gliding or any kind of parasailing either. So flying doesn't bother me. I mean, they say it's the safest form of travel. Who knows? I don't really look into statistics before I go do things. If, there was a second Titanic, I'd be signing up to be on it just because I think it's all cool. But people have called me crazy for that too. But as far as it goes with flying, I guess it's the falling factor that makes people uncomfortable, because you kind of looks like you just got thrown up there by the jet engine fuel, and pure luck keeps you in the sky. My pilot buddy always tells me you would not fly as much as you do or be as comfortable with it if you saw a lot of the behind the scenes and some of the repairs and some of the pockets in the way that you just kind of drop in the air by hitting an air pocket. So he's probably right, but what I don't know doesn't hurt me. So they call 10,000 mile an hour tape for a reason. It's basically duct taped when there's cracks in the wings. I found that one out and never let go of that, but that's okay. I look for that duct tape, because if the duct tape's there, then they know the crack is there, and then they'll fix the plane. 3, acrophobia, fear of heights, kind of a play on the word acrobat. So obviously you would not be one if you're not good with heights. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with flying, although I imagine you wouldn't be in a plane in a high altitude if you were interested in not falling. But on the other hand, it could be that you feel safe in the plane. I guess if, they don't necessarily go hand in hand, but heights in general, again, doesn't really bother me. I kind of enjoy them, but it's not going to be your thing if you're maybe going into different amusement parks or, climbing up on the Tower of Terror. Is not going to be your jam. I think that with heights could be also like ladders and things, just basic small heights too. It doesn't have to be some huge tower like the Eiffel Tower or the top of the Empire State Building. It could be a simple height. Just not having your feet on the ground makes people nervous. Number 2, I'm not a fan of these, but again, I don't know if I call it a phobia. Phobia is a fear of snakes. I am not a snakey fan, and I don't ever really want to be near one, and I can't say I've been in close proximity too often, but more for the poisonous factor than I'm just not a fan of snakes. But yeah, that's a terrifying phobia to a lot of people, certainly with rattlesnakes and diamondbacks and cobras and things that can actually hurt you immediately, versus a little like garter snake or something like that. But still, just seeing them can unnerve people. And then our number 1 fear is actually arachnophobia, fear of spiders. And it's interesting because, again, not a fan of the 8-legged sort, but they say that spiders don't have ears. So it's interesting, if you go near a spider, it might run away, but it doesn't necessarily hear you coming, because supposedly they don't have ears. I don't know. I haven't talked to a spider to find that out, but I also hear that you're never less than 6 feet from a spider. That bothers me. And despite the fact that they eat other bugs, which I'm cool with that, I just don't like that there's so many of them around, and they move in and trash the place. They're like the bug that leaves funk behind. Like, thank you for your service. They put up all their little spider webs and cobwebs. I'm not a fan. I get that they're trying to trap other things, but stop trashing my house. And more importantly, there's so many different types and scary spiders that, I guess because they can get away faster with the legs, I'm just not a fan. If it's got more legs than I do, I really don't, other than my dog, want it in the house. And they just come out of nowhere all the time. I don't want to even think about when they said that you swallow X amount of spiders in your life. I've heard that's true. I've heard it's not. I don't want to think about it. And, you wake up and you have a weird taste in your mouth sometimes. Oh, man, I just hope it wasn't ingesting a spider, because that's disgusting. But I had done, when I was getting my psych degree, I did a fear study for my senior project. And at that time, which was, over 25 years ago at this point, spiders was the number 1 fear at that time too, which I thought was very interesting considering some of the other fears. But spiders ranked number 1. So on the fear list, I guess it's consistent over time. So if you're afraid of any of these things, I'm sorry, stay away from them. And if you just don't like them, well, stay away from them anyway. But there's just a little list of fun stuff that may or may not bother you. But beware of clowns. That's my advice, especially with the spooky season coming up. If you like this type of content, scare the like button into turning blue and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching.